Downstairs.
Can you get one of the knobs?
Yeah, I do think what
If you do, yeah, then. He's hungry.
I'm always hungry.
Holy Wait.
Sure.
You're such a
What?
The 1438 message.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, are we ready to start this round?
She about to went to the bathroom.
It takes 16 minutes after getting to the middle match.
Huh? Oh yeah, dude. That'll be master you. Really.
I can relax.
What?
So.
Oh, is it? Dude, what is wrong with your thing? What are you saying?
I'm very disappointed.
Wait, yeah, there's some more pizza. No. I'm like 6 like she does. Already had this made sure. Just get us a
I
box.
can't believe you did that.
Are you going back to stand?
Yeah. I'm gonna go home for that.
Oh shit, it's fine.
Sarah?
Oh yeah.
Consideration.
You lost in the locked finals. Yeah. Locked finals. It's a pretty unique thing.
Before you better stop. Just restart.
It's live streaming.
Who's in?
Who's judging this debate?
Sure, what's up?
I did. It's a really good debate, though. I wish I had filmed it, but sorry, guys. Like, oh, you can ask AT and I can find it.
It needs to be in the moment.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's like you're at the beach.
Imagine you're on a beach.
You see a man, he looks like Picasso. He has drawn something in the sand.
Okay.
You want to, but you don't have your camera or phone. You want to run home and get your camera,
Can you set up my?
but there's a 95% chance that you're doing so. The tide will wash away the drawing of the painting. It will be gone forever.
Two girls. Shruti was my
Appreciate it. You never have presentation. Physical representation of it again. Or do you go and try to take that chance to
Stay.
Oh, yeah.
You stay.
where do we generate our value?
Jonas, I don't think you said anything meaningful in that 2 minutes that you were just talking about.
That's like the first cross-sex question I get every one.
That wasn't a question, that was a statement.
I was thinking.
Just kidding, Jonas. You know I love you.
Is that right?
Was it funny this debate? Oh, actually, against Ryan. I think he would have
I'm ready when you are. Okay, I'm ready. Framing one, the rule about the most from ethical pulse after considering pulse conditions, key effective theory, fever, and one no such theory, the same size that can be moved, either no wasn't about theory when pulse conditions are considered pulse theory or uncovered pulse not possibly about theory, reality with the reason arcane without even producing something that matters too much, aspects and representation determined for the surrounding context and how referred fluid shim in 14 representations on a particular response to a causal link to the image of something when a vector about a time individual determinism of images to additionally negative may not just have about 8 units. 6 minutes 1 D, only based on offense plus we the one that the base offense continue or false making the focus on that 3 points kind of by the left ground for the shot the one that's to be cross education 9 3 process to that deep functionally even never been to the telling me to know with me to prepare for the force condition strategic option that clubs are but they want to leave the see what I just made also I don't know how many chapters of the was actually making shallow learning the argument innovation instead of the most inspiring the best arguments as you said you can encourage multiple series of issues resistance the one that struggles on 100 and then recognition that the center has become the territory of the discretion and transform called center to express radical brown students and the variance of enforcing diversity knowledge for students after analysis and more general regional or general quality and confident for their self-ability and intervention in the defining the nation requires recognizing the permissible picture, connected to the extent of the terrorist activity, regulating the intellectual fiction, season military, the United States, was not living here, literally, exclusion, ideas, will be a during not like salt, fragment, outspoken, the superior parts of Marx's body, threats, the Marx's other person, spirituality, the mark, the rats, the word, especially the political type, the compliment, the kind of big social balance, and the little bit of the front of the decision, we're trying to attach source of right. We can then like the nation more, at least, both no more, and the more tyranny, one from curious, and to the sedition of it, anti-American sentiment, was not limited to focus on, no more tyranny, the more churches, the Jewish scroll, that's not security, battle, for consideration. Containment, not security safety, not the effects of starting here, academics will leave the ritual of being also supposed to be racist, district, racism, urban nationalism, and here, secularism, class unity, and grand imperialism, community, that was one that I respected until the people that were only security state already identified complex and allies or just have to be suppressed at all costs, framing on service, taxes coming from the lower equals, and this year more some of the differences, the equal all this to be truly criminal of this cooperative protection movements, no picks, IBN, 5 attitude of war, security to enemies, 2 coercion, disallows, minimal $1,000, and proxy encourages adversaries not your enemies, proxy for the criminals of solution, constructive relations which moves forward to motivate to proxy search and favor policy for they can reach similarities that said there's only 14 unmitigated enemy under an ongoing vision of war terror, which I always said was sending the proxy when debates insufficiently engaged to the pulsing tax violence and armor rebellion descent, inducing cooperative more opposed to business for all rather than leads to the after the murder and wars between government insecurity, fabricators, others to play on this war front to sustain Germany in midst of perpetual threats enemy fellow citizens who can't believe in about happening sex was absolutely flawed and talking 9 were the purpose of 100 Muslim men in prison for terror and people willing to fund random surveillance over values and motive for torturing people and children and there's that's what they enter your government become dominated with war and I mean which that is the third of the war in the Ukraine of the Muslims believe that the government would special that the war is willing to political sense for on that Islamic or strategic global market because can't believe military equals the opportunity of the military overall even possibly limited stuff would be physical circuits for long and anarchy or try to allow people to apply to and have a fundamentalism and practice visible order to unfortunately use distributory and disrupt the great beginning history of something here and have time to order people to instill in them that highly the predator the fantasy of the is resistance living species spreads versus practice and practical opinion standards and safety is with critical best will be popular a little more than a propaganda later top pieces culture to force to get the conference and also face the call that it was an unpublished internal story that could make the school look bad like the student for instance student groups from history or performance arts groups subject to be student detail and censorship goes beyond content giving universities the power to regulate free speech zones that designed to eliminate protests herald and 6 protests then put it out the the free speech zones Michigan or protest to move for dissent to areas with presidential voter community having absolutely protest to return to the best free speech on many campuses and Canadian conferences and away from various cities and people are this was a particular on speeches that question the authority of the institution, the impose the president of the institution with the trust or neutrality. Other 96 judges shall pay death for the judge in terms of using causes of punishment. She also asked to restrain her, never help the same kill the prisoner, cover the non security power of the judiciary, and that kind of through speeches, spending state action doctrine, when the speech prosecution may also sustain the defendant brutally, understanding the state power, living the power of the citizen, subject state task with legal under review, allowing limitations on free speech because it's offensive, it's emotional trauma and morale, and would Lukianoff at height 15. Cognitive behavioral therapy is used which are widely treated or different anxiety, disorders, and addiction, several names of cognitive torsion, sort of films that are always with the guys who are being the in-person develop actually speaking of adult pressure in this area, the broadband and academic social ability, the concerns are linked there to unacceptable fucking the vigilance of emotional state and argument of offender becomes an unbeatable card of ever everyone is supposed to rely on his whether economic whether rebuttals and is unlawful the evidence or you receive to this nurture kind of high sensitivity that leads you to countless on the person who's trapped in the elevator power with many things that they can lead to phobia someone or trainer to serve like help her with elevators to want her to her normalcy. You should expose students of BDC should of course be treated, but they should not hurt to go normal life with an opportunity situation. And if we look at race, natural and civil liberty for margins. The ACLU still keeps briefcase 94 legal practices for what theories and for the affirmation of the person working for the acceptance towards the ACLU defenders and Martin Skokie and Paul Foster what they wish to fortify the constitutional right of civil liberty and health and civil to access for the person for all less obnoxious cases, hard cases, pardon laws, the order to further term the yellow board, 14 with the ACLU, they could use on the yellow, so it should decision to have for the silver for the 16 and 70 such cases, but good from effectively so cases, pragmatic justification, historically, these cases are more important than visual funding than technique, regulations, source in regulation, and small and we can get the weak speech guarantee among the chief benefits of the vigorous free speech, the third, sublocation, free speech is also strong with free speech for the segregation, Birmingham protest, the ordinance that came and the violation of unconstitutional invasion of free speech rights.
Would you cut that card?
I really like
Ready?
Sorry.
Okay. Yep. Let's start on the first advantage. It says the dissenter has become the terrorist to be eradicated. How does having criticism on speech, criticism on college campuses spill over to the rest of the security state? For instance, NSA surveillance, US drone strikes abroad, security state within like other countries. How does that solve?
It's a couple of responses. First is that we don't have to win that. The strategy evidence indicate that terrorism has moved into a fear of homegrown terrorism and other forms of thought, which means simply the act of considering those perspectives, especially have offense, is not only international at this point. The second thing I will say is that the strategy evidence also identifies that new modes of thought, for example, anti-imperialism, particularly on Muslim students, will be introduced with free speech classes.
Sorry, say that second answer again. How does that?
So we think that introducing those new forms of thought, both in professors and students, creates a new generation which has more diverse viewpoints.
A more diverse viewpoint. How does that solve the harms of the end?
The strategy evidence says that the reason that the war on terror and all these things have happened is because sort of these other viewpoints are.
All right, let's talk about your second advantage. It says that limiting free speech allows crackdown on unpopular opinions. How does this why does it create unpopular opinions if hate speech codes are defined clearly, as in white people cannot say the N-word, you are not allowed to say these racial insults, and you cannot say these racial insults. Cyberbullying is defined as this.
We think that governments will use that and exploit that to violate certain groups.
How can you exploit that? They're defined in a way that explicitly defines bullying as psychological repeated harm.
Yes, but I mean, if you win that the definition is so specific and not be exploited, then
I mean, that's what a speech code is, right?
I mean, I think that speech codes are written vaguely so that minorities can be exploited.
All right, let's talk about the framing arguments. So what's a pick?
Any advocacy from the negative thing are all.
Is an actor, so is a counterplan that uses the same actors you have to pick?
Or,
so the negative,
sorry.
It's not. So a counterplan that uses the same
policy of the affirmative.
The policy of the affirmative.
So if you use the same actors,
all right.
Like,
okay, that's fine.
The
The IB evidence in the first advantage says that the security state operates on a binary. How does criticism of how does an increased understanding of different viewpoints, as per your prior explanation, how does that ensure that democracy is safe from other threats like it identifies here? Yeah, so this evidence identifies the likelihood of political struggles escalating beyond dissent into acts of violence and armed rebellion increases, whether it takes the form of deliberating and demonstrating. The rhetoric of dissent challenges social struggle and political conversation. This is your IB evidence. So I'm wondering why this argument about like rebellion and the ability to have like seditious speech is consistent with the AF's solvency. which says that we should just, increase understanding of different ideas?
Because the idea of evidence is identifying certain groups as other and not trying to find common ground with them is bad.
But how does that spill over to create
The idea of evidence
active
is
challenging this?
the idea of evidence isn't so much a certainty claim as an answer to any sort of exceptions.
Stop at 2:45 left.
We use 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine with me. So 3:45. If that's the case, I'll take a little more time. All right. 2:50. I just sent it out. The owner is 4 off case. Everyone ready?
I'm ready now.
Common plain text, public colleges and universities in the United States ought not restrict constitution-protected speech for other than advertising, organization, or membership for fraternities. Fraternities are sites of rape, serious interest, and death, landing in 14. Fraternities are very risky organizations. Young people involved in fraternities are an industry that has tremendous history of rape, serious injury, and death. Most are in Washington, compulsive revenue, meaningful adult supervision of fraternity system, the large industry in this country, directly involved in prohibition of alcohol on underage people, ban on campus fraternity salty, and ban fraternity advertising alone is good. Brian 14. The most obvious way to have fraternities for university legal move to content against higher education really want to be heard of. Group groups take it all about university will have to do is put their foot down. University can say no. Group groups are about against advertising Greek life and frats are protected by the First Amendment right to free speech. Luke 11. Fraternities have the freedom of association and protect First Amendment freedom. Drug groups is understood as offering protection, freedom of speech, right, freedom of expression without need to create for integration together like-minded individual and apply the power of ways and take life action. Salty charted kids they say that dissent is necessary to criticize the security state. The fraternity is not key to that. Next off. Donations to colleges are growing at a rapid rate. Leaderman 16.
The study plan drew information 92 institutions extrapolates this results to extent estimate total giving the 309 colleges 7.6% rise for large by giving for individual increase sharply the amount of money they already got alumni about 10.2% to the hotel $85 given by non-alumni donors for 23.1%. Protest crush donations article is A4 participants in campus are feeling such recognition members as well as alumni feel like the preaching students so why big backlash is unexpected. Our institution have reported the high donations alumni are reported baffled by today's college's culture and students are too rapid racial identity politics administrator are looking for the activist yield alumni fund was applied this year and their first the links also prove crossings. They say they expand protests, which expands the dissent against the campus that proves link to the dissent. Second, their IV5 evidence is that the removal of free speech restraint expands protests on campus that proves the link and endowment to key education quality ACE 14. And endowment is aggregation of assets advised by a college to support its educational mission that advances serve the public of providing stability and supervised economic and fluctuation endowment. Allows the college university to provide higher level of quality at a lower price endowment and faculty students to dive into research and new academic fields, applying new technology, developing new technology, achieving methods and innovation, selecting targeting programs to important discover science, medicine, and other fields, high quality training and research at colleges key to solve climate change. SNP 15. The university has unique and critical role playing comment climate change to institutions that have sold that received at this group to go by everything that we turn to studying the range of international milestones, collaborating on climate gases to make agreement possible by doing the things the university are doing to design new creating partnerships, under research and training students will give solution to global challenge. Warming is real and dramatic and causes extinction. Nutrition 14. IPCC discussed the risk of social community security due to droughts caused heat waves, wildfires, and climate development for any start to be an increase in life. So like heat waves, droughts, and floods, application of sediments for portals to the water security due to shrinking of glacier strength, precipitation, high level costs will become more common, sea level rise costs, submersion, flooding, and erosion, coastal reach adoption, acidification, plastic marine ecosystem vaccine shift, the more species will be unable to adapt. Innovations to usual scenario coverage for 4 degrees Celsius, family care, bargaining posts, and major risk to the economy. Next off. Campus activism against a war in the security state undermines morale and forces withdrawal, collapses American presence abroad and causes massive instability that culminates in extinction. Levy 7. We have Vietnam War was lost in the battle holding great US giving encouragement and work movement dispatch led to a perpetual recruiting of Vietnam War as a realistic atrocity park reference launch of Taji Simish communists in Southeast Asia and their workers fighting Americans sending on the politics of peace and war activists and hyper war effort around the security measures on the university offenses our hobbits ran their works in the next recruits us hard to stop them to recruit drives and job for participation together just when the US government to shirk for outstanding success and the bolts together guide Iraq will be further place for our cloud of which they both US and attack US allies and interest in the very existence of our nation. U.S. leadership prevents great power war and existential governance crises. Brooks, Ackenberry, and Wolf 13. DB Kennedy gives sovereignty and British partners abroad and maximizing commitments for trade and expansion. British power has multiple origins to appeal the company power and great power. Europe, Israel, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, take action, make use of government and intensify security levels. So, a decent reaction kind of options to what would happen if the U.S. return to suspend and restricting some of the safeguards for research across the social and other state department status, even states that are relatively secure and engaged in military withdrawal. America will yield to stability and great power once across the world slides to debate over stability, probably change, never goes to risk vaccines. The president spin out of control, cut the card, spin out of control. Retrenchment, green lights, revisions, powers causes nuclear conflict, arms race, Regal, and Mitchell 16. Revisions, powers, certain gender green, global security, border, China, Russia, learn from one of the battles, drawing down to the conclusion by U.S. currency, China, that testified as become harder for the U.S. to isolate security crisis, war, mission reactions, like risk, fraud, and lawful destruction for China, the U.S. committed great power, nuclear arms, power related destruction, China, and Iran have since the U.S. is retreating there, ensure how the strength the U.S. has. They have employed local intensive crisis has U.S. powers surround the defense and say the U.S. extended turns, Russian back habit, take modern state program, tech weapons, their allies are reconsider national security option, absent position, credible U.S. overall states, detach themselves, cut the card, and detach themselves. Next off, the standard is minimizing existential risk, reducing the risk of extinction by a tiny amount outweighs massive structural violence, Boston 12. Existential catastrophe is greater than 10 to 16 human life value, reducing extinction by 1% of charges, 100 times value, 100 million human life in the entire risk where accidental risk has value greater than definite for saving 1 billion lives. Second is reversing the balance of life and structural violence may reverse in the future, but death of the entire humanity is permanent. Third is scope of magnitude kills all existing people on Earth and the potentially hundreds of billion people exist in the future. Case. Starting on page back, one is Pixar key to net ground. Pixar key checks since the athletes set the ground straight by picking their advantage. They know way more about their one act on net because we heard for every athlete ever evidence they're ever ready. I don't have to change their pregnancy after the perfect 1 yard strategy. The best champions to be able to test individual parts of the athlete and disaster process TSS no self. Pixar key to center debate on the net benefits. Otherwise, the athlete easily outweigh the process and DA can kill substance education. Turns out the art debate becomes stale and competitive about history versus the athlete every single time. It is not unpredictable. They actually have a defensive appreciation in general. For instance, he has defensive censure being bad in every single instance, and they say conscious that one is key to argument expression without multiple sources of offense. Next are forces saying whether no one experiment and learn from new arguments causes repetitive basis. Next are the same few arguments ever shows argument exposure. That also destroys the next strategy. The upper front line playing against the female strong arguments whenever debates the next strategy becomes incredibly predictable. They say strategy one is that the app has a number of permutations which are functioning conditional advocacy on the kind of we have the answer. Second is that they have affects who they have they set the grounds for being have very evidence once from they are already head on substance. Three that they speak first and last affects judgment policy, so they're able to they have the best understanding and they see arguments innovation, but they we turn this in kind of conditionality and encourages argument advantage because otherwise debaters are risk averse and they stick what they know since they don't want to lose debates since they have to depend only one kind of now on the advantage. Threats are real. Threat inflation. We get our authors fired. Route all down. Notion security arcs. Words missing. Inflation. Why? Security rules. Body expectation. Rationality. Give me rules. High behavior. For much transparent. Corrupt security planning is done. And curfew for every strong rational explanation. Get filter. We qualify for student analysis. Skip the next card and. We've impacted our military, but it's not a flawed way of thinking. It's actually could countervise fear, epistemology, more flood access, fear of surveillance, use scholarship, more, and exaggeration be done at 15. Drugs, precise counter-terror, addition, major threats, privacy, we invest in counter evidence, alarm statement made at surveillance, we rely on government sources, sizable number, or without objective foundation of error, stage, so there's culture of privacy, where contributors fear these increased allegation, independent violations, and no risk of endless warfare. Grade 7, the next paranoid leader prevention be a policy for endless warfare. The power of the American system was designed for the purpose of constraining the executive, designed for the bidding on Iraq for real wars. This about calling actions and claiming that policy, which is this brand of related to a belief for social security is not convincing. It should be just made one participating point with little pragmatic merit. And they say reject hate speech codes. That doesn't apply to fraternity because it doesn't drive speech underground. Even if it's true that hate speech would be given out of fraternities, public membership is obviously cannot be driven underground. Secondary evidence is the concept of speech codes being vague. Our counterplan is very clear about what it defends, which means that it doesn't link to any of your offense. And there's no chilling effect. The term chilling effect, they increase chilling June and 12. Description is system back with the arcs, taking and choosing what switch right in absence of written policy, the back of the decision makes based on like video or good content, disseminating principle, like guide action. Got the card at guide action.
Or wait, the only way that you cut was that you had evidence or everything else, right?
No, I cut another card.
You just
Yeah, I mean, fine. All right, I just sent out the new version. Ready?
why is membership to fraternity part of free speech?
Our Lukino evidence identifies that free speech also protects the ability to join certain organizations, such as the right to free association.
Okay, where does it say that's free speech?
Fraternities seem to know that the freedom of association is protected the First Amendment. The freedom to join is understood to arise from the protections of freedom of speech. That's the first line.
Okay. And it says, while the freedom to join foreign groups not technically listed in the text of the First Amendment, understood to arise from the protection of freedom of speech and right to assembly. Why does that mean that it's part of the affirmative?
So the AF defends
What does it mean to be
removing.
generally understood?
The AF defends removing restrictions on constitutionally protected speech, right? So the right to free association is derivative or a corollary to the right to free speech. So it is also, you would also remove restrictions on free speech and free association. That's what our evidence says.
Where does the analysis that talk about public universities?
So the first card, the donations are rising at a rapid rate. The 983 colleges includes public colleges. The next card, the Harker
Does this analysis analyze the distribution of colleges? So how much of this is in private colleges, public colleges? How big is the donation for private and public colleges?
not on this card.
Is there anyone in the ones?
Not in the ones.
Okay, so then why would private universities like Harvard and Yale just take like 95% of the donation?
So like the UC system, for instance, also has a lot of donations, right?
It's like again, UT Austin, like the UCs get a lot. That's like 5 colleges.
They're like I can give you a bunch of examples. University of Virginia, University of Michigan. These are colleges that also have a lot of endowments. I mean,
okay. Is there any uniqueness for hegemony being high now?
yeah. Brookins Eikenberry evidence identifies that the U.S. is currently a strong global leader. It says that it maintains the existing liberal order, deters Israel, Egypt, Saudi Arabia from taking actions on U.S. return that might cause security.
I don't think it says this. Where does it say that it's strong now? It just says that multipolarity is bad.
All right, so a line from the card in the first paragraph says, U.S. power dampens the effects of anarchy, Europe, Israel,
Didn't
Egypt.
read that, and also, even if it dampens the effects of anarchy, that just talks about U.S. power when it's hot. But it's saying U.S. power is
This
high.
evidence identifies that U.S. power is higher.
It does not say that.
This evidence is describing current U.S. leadership. It says if we were to retrench from current leadership, this would all these crises and manage to spiral out of control.
Engaged U.S. power in the effects of anarchy. That is not like a description of the status quo. Okay. The framing arguments. What does the Bosch method say?
It says that even a 1% risk of extinction would outweigh the structural violence of the end.
Why do you need picks as background?
We said that picks are necessary to check the app, since the app gets to set the grounds of debate, and they get to have better evidence, and the pick is necessary as a core negation error. Reading as a dissad doesn't solve your offense, because you just easily outweigh the fraternities.
Hey, why is that not reason that fraternities still matter?
No, it says that argument is that it's necessary to center debate. That substantive education is valuable.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, Brett.
What is the terminal impact that it said?
There's two impacts. The first is great power war and existential weapons crises. The second one is Green Lights revisions powers, which escalates into nuclear conflict.
second.
Alex, that's camera.
Condition.
Okay, it's going to be case, then the opposite, you already read them. So we start on the framework or the framing stuff, then case on. Sorry, it's going to start in the order of condo evidence. Conditionalities, medicines, rescue, or rescue, you can't watch your comments from less time, also I have to spend less time in each couple of these as multiple advocacies, the negative, which some of the already limited time, one where you say firms, one from the chest competition, not additional advocacies, that original offensive, offensive for us, you can just read, just as you say, absolutely no, there's literally one offensive, which you firm does not have additional advocacy, you can be able to look at it, you can always all negative referencing is the 7.6 times in the structure, not the type itself is bad and choosy for this, choosy for medical, also New York, means that first last speech doesn't matter, you say, the ideological flexibility argument use answers your first kind of standard new arguments are going to be bad arguments, they're not going to be arguments that are well researched, etc. Are trying to be new for other ones that are strategic and extremist and which destroys our education was considered the next flexibility argument. Well, you don't need no more next flexibility. You're not limited by this each topic, you can read anything. The point is that there's literally one half of this about this. The point is you have more time to defend it. The point is that the entire resolution in this case is not that bad. Now the picks that argument that may not pick out of any kind of free speech, any kind of free speech. The ground argument, you can see the ground argument that you you can see how much want to see ground force and restart the one yard, which is as simple as the more important argument you can see this is an infinite number of possible free speech because the word any in the resolution, which means that it's impossible for to engage with the critique, which answers your cross education argument. Cross education argument additionally is cross argument would easily outweigh the other side. It's probably not something that's relevant to talk about, but it's not talking about a lot of the topic that's really relevant to talk about. Additionally, education arguments mean that the half would never be talked about in the thing, which is equal to not talking about the cross education. The next argument, the one that's only one half of the topic is against you never argument also all the answers to next where you don't need picks, you can just read a critique or anything else which is specific to the topic. Alternative critique is all the case, but you don't need to say you need argument on the case extending the conjunct evidence, which is the advantages will not single that is ignored and unhealthy and unresponsible here. Others that do not exist, you will not see your others are apart from other system as a whole, food fire or others, etc. That's all controlled by the system of security, which allows you to explore around system to you and if it's all of your hegemony, say that the modern jurists, the academic research, which is simply including their voice and free speech is good, because the equivalent of including the terrorists that are in our discussion, which includes the new forms of the structural violence decreases the head degree structural violence evidence does not apply because there's a lie for our evidence traditionally. Who would bring the link us here, which is your evidence of the public part of the public part of the Catalan, which usually analyzes better data and one part they just say the app except one was not competitive because talks to the North Korea whether we free speech so that we can only learn about the content and talk to see it in regards because they see a different terrible ways like so Catalan says just for teaching Catalan any means or so any results and you ask me questions to see the way in person on first vision that runs the third thing I'll say is formation do the app and do the app and benefit fraternities which are benefit fraternity membership not part of free speech, but rather covered by association, which is the 14th Amendment of the First Amendment. Your argument says it can be extrapolated, not specifically constitutional speech. I have a part of this. It just talks about the Constitution. It's not relevant to read. I made the argument analytically. Now the first is that most people don't have nouns and you have to tie with it. Not the police and social institutions only have now only nationals and learn all well addition to only 16% and not over to the hard postcard. There's less sense the Constitution now is free speech principle into this condition with the higher ranking of the possible ordination. Now in comparison to the passage in my green 66 level, the iteration of our world, the senior every good piece of period.
when the which we weren't done our full wrongly already because of put over utilizing the regional efforts for reason has gas which are let's now the second is that you know no uniqueness no uniqueness you don't set high find out things like Trump to try to find out rising these that head on these down now since you have a small impact on the students and in fact you don't have an impact on the large scale decisions of having these things the large decisions makes that policy figures and Washington extreme and also safety applicants and equal pressure hard struggles to launch kind of backlash marriage policy that kind of American one design which wants to shows a different productive or other generally use car country conventional use position actually actions and what's related capabilities fast.
Okay, unipolarity has passed. All right, I have 250. All right, the order is going to be starting on the hedge DA, then the endowments DA, the counterplan, then the case. Actually, my bad. Let me repeat that. So it's going to be the hedge DA first, and then it'll be on the case, on the advantages, and then it'll be on the theory arguments extended, and then donations DA. Is that right?
Framing issue is that they have dropped extinction comes first means that even a 1% risk of the hegemony D is enough to go negative on substance. Obviously, the hegemony D is an easy way to go negative. They read no evidence. They say it's not unique. One, our Brooks secondary evidence identifies that hegemony is necessary now in order to maintain the U.S. power and maintain leadership. Second is that there is no hedge to climb a bonus. 15, Iraq and Afghanistan were reminded to consider long-term perspective. U.S. possesses total control of seas, airports, and targets while American universities dominating ideas, policy, analysts, national memories. Second, saying the century with the U.S. defeated no buildings, resources are exhausted. Yet the British century is beginning. America has enormous potential resources to use evidence come and go. U.S. troops and workspace, the actual combat advantage would not wait for maintenance. Afghanistan, Iraq, Britain, and cosmos and conflict in Afghanistan, short-term substitution should not be extrapolated. Cut the card extrapolated, and they see Trump strengthens U.S. hegemony by bolstering our deterrence abroad. For instance, he has bolstered our deterrence commitment to Taiwan, which spans for Germany by allowing us to protect our naval power against China. They say there's small impacts. One, they dropped their levy argument that says there are 3 wars that were dropped. These recruitment ensures that the military has strong recruitment for colleges. Otherwise, protests will shut those down. B is that resolve in Vietnam and Iraq decrease our ability to send power abroad. Is it decrease the U.S. government's ability to project power. C is that it decreases the perception of resolve by other countries and collapses hegemony. Now on the case, the case is also a slam dunk. They dropped 2 arguments that prove that their epistemology arguments are false. First is the Ravenel argument that says that threats are real, that our security bureaucracies are transparent, they have incentives not to exaggerate because otherwise they would be fired. That answers their argument that hegemony structure is all because our epistemology is not flawed. Actually, our counterbias argument says that their fear of surveillance acts as fear of security state instead increases the risk that their evidence is flawed, which is our McDonough evidence is completely dropped, which answers their argument. Now on the theory arguments. This is the only way for the win the debate. We'll start on the conditionality argument. Extend the conditionality is good. The first argument expression ensures that the negative can access multiple different hierarchical arguments rather than sticking with what we know. Debaters are risk averse, will only produce research new things and debate about new things. They know that they can have another strategy in the 2 and R. Then this outweighs all other education impacts. A, it's key to trying out new ideas like critiques and challenge debate. Or that can be problematic for education, which is more educational long run. B, there produces repetitive debates. Even these debates are high quality. They're still unproductive since we don't need to learn anything new from them. And argument exposure. Argument exposure outweighs on out-of-ground research and incentivizes the research arguments we are interested in outside of the ground, which outweighs since A, leads to more accurate discussion research about arguments since in-ground discussion about arguments that are strategic rather than accurate or educational. B, depth of research ground is only 45 minutes long, but out-of-ground research personally eliminating too much or nuanced discussion. C is expertise. Debaters often lack background knowledge of the field, so discussion be shallow, will bastardize argument source. Out-of-ground research involves discussion by experts. They say that the avenues to engage arguments, but first turn out-of-ground research involves discussion in academia between a person and author, which is better than authors more informed by discussion have more time, so the discussion will be more productive. Second, you can still have discussions or practice around for for raising new positions, so it's not unique at best. Next to say that decreases argument innovation, but there's only ability. The only reason that debaters research new counterplans is the idea that they can read them in debate and potentially go for that or the status quo. Otherwise, debaters will never try on new ideas because they will only stick with what they know best, which is reading a dissent or a T violation, which turns out that there are new counterplans. This is a conceding argument for the 1 and C, which doesn't allow a 2-year response. They say that the app debating being app is harder because there's only a single app, but here are 3 arguments. There are a couple of reasons why the net needs flexibility. First, that you can write perfect 1-AR blocks where you have infinite prep time, means that you already know what your advantage are, means that you can crack a strategy against every predictable 1 and 2 strategy. This pick is not unpredictable. First, this pick has been on my wiki since a month and a half ago, which means they should be able to prep it. Second is that speaks first and last 2-hour second line comparison, which outweighs that they can collapse to 1 argument the entire time, which outweighs any turn or collapse since we have to over allocate time on every single argument. Third is that the argument, because the app speaks first and last, it stays longer. The judges might activate, which influences how they perceive the rest of the arguments and how it's arguments. That was also drawn from 1 and C judge psychology as a conceded war for why the negative needs flexibility to get multiple outs in the 2 and R. All right, now on the picks argument. Let's extend now education outweighs fairness. First is that they didn't read a fairness or education voter in this debate, so that means I justify that 2 and R weighing education outweighs first. It's the only thing we take away from debate because it ensures that after we become decision making in the real world, we can always learn about the real world and through cost benefit analysis rather than merely just analyzing theory. Second is that fairness is only a threshold impact that we can always be slightly marginally more favorable. Education is linear, that we can always learn more and more. Next, now on the picks argument, extend that picks are good for negative grounds like fortune error against half function. This app wasn't disclosed until 20 minutes before the debate, which proves that we should be able to read the pick and read the pick. They say that it steals background and doesn't steal ground since it's reciprocal, since the negative can only read dissess to a particular, only read to dissess to something that's very specific to the pick, but the app can also make self-skeptics. That second, they can drop the argument that any good affirmative should also have a general defense of how censorship is bad in every instance, which disproves their argument. This is a terminal defense. Their offense ensures that the app doesn't listen to ground since they can just extend arguments that censorship is bad in general. This is empirically proven. This way, the 1 and C had plenty of arguments about why censorship or even minor restriction on speech is bad. This is your powerful not extending those. And There was no drop the debate or warrant read in the 1AR, which justifies the 2AR. There's no 2AR response to this because they didn't allow us to, didn't make the warrant in the first place. Drop the argument. First, drop the argument encourages theory proliferation. Always any abuse of the rubber system X every round is empirically verified. A small amount of many-round abuse is not important, encouraging infinite frivolous theory. 2, 1A theory reverses the time skew since they had 7/6 in the parent edition. 2, unique 2AR ability to do a second line comparison. Third is that the 2AR over allocates on every 1A argument, which ensures that we already have sufficient time trade-off on this argument. So you should just reject the Biggs argument. We have to overcalculate on every single argument since they can collapse to it, which means that the time trap already positive to reject and take is sufficient to solve the abuse. Now, now on donations, not going for, we'll concede that there's no endowments now and that there's no correlation between protest and decreasing endowments. Frax counterplay, not going for, we'll concede purging the counterplay because it's not textually competitive. Look, they read a bunch of theory arguments, but did not extend a drop the debater warrant and did not make a drop the debater warrant in the 1AC. You should not vote on something that was not warranted and had no impact extended. Either way, they dropped a bunch of arguments why it's easier to be at since they have better evidence and have infinite prep. Like 48 seconds.
Or is it going to be quickly the counterplan, then conditionality there. Pretty good.
Except limitation of the counterplan, which if I win, reject the argument. If I win, you have to defend the counterplan, I win the debate. Now, the drop the debate or drop the argument 1, even if it is dropped the argument like conditionality, that means to reject that the counterplan is conditional, reject the counterplan itself, which means that the counterplan is now unconditional. You're not rejecting the counterplan as a whole, which means you can't for the counterplan, then reject then I can say permission to do the counterplan, which means I win the debate. Ask yourself if the addition was the one I see in indicting the counterplan itself, was it indicting the conditional condition of the counterplan? Obviously, it is the first one. The shoes that drop the argument does not make sense of conditionality because it's the same thing as keeping the counterplan, which means that it concedes the entirety of the use drop the argument is a responsive argument to the theory shell, which is taken to respond to the new more than theory proliferation one outweigh the fact that you don't solve any use to say is that the theory proliferation key to check back needs to be key to check back the again to be no rather you see the winner the reverse the time you know the 206 minutes obviously the winner with all the time with 3 also just 1 minute which means that you say over allocate on every argument or on every argument and it doesn't matter just get better and do it over allocate now the conditionality shell works in the strats use standard which was conceded to the or you don't accept a single defensive argument and it says that the negative choose of the affirmative is against the word every counterplan I cover less and also because that's the less I'm going to transplant there was an internally to depth argument which is that we only have shallow learning even if over whatever you say you defend the one that's even if it's really productive which is the only thing unique to made everything you can get outside of it in your philosophy or a class etc. The second thing that was especially to do with the ideological flexibility argument there was no game on this in the 200 so that instead of encouraging you to read the best argument and the most relevant argument you just read like the most strategic which is the negative extremist generics for which was hoping that the 1 year would just copy himself into different flows. This controls the internal to all of the education organizations that I went for means the education that we get is bad education. The education that we get is going to be one that's going to be one strategic debate strategic as was actually useful, which means you lecture the shit out of all of your arguments. I mean that I'm additionally fair in education certainly that outweighs even when the eventually certainly to determine that conditional fairness and important consideration of the role of the judge. Also intellect education of all of our fairness arguments controlling is key to sort of constructive dialogue. The next flexibility argument you see infinite one, we have one app, and you have also a different for that one app. Equal here. Second is that you were not considered by the top. You can go beyond that. That argument different from time to day. There's just too much stuff on the negative for us to come. You say the affirmative left actually are one. No new arguments means this is not strategic. They can't be super persuasive. Same as that judge psychology. Obviously, doesn't matter if I drop that argument. The affirmative, you can see the separate the structure of the debate. The time itself means that means that we win. The other argument doesn't really matter. The second argument doesn't really matter. Which the next flexibility is not relevant. Now the last thing I have to answer. I mean, what else? Discussions and you count. You said the affirmative was new and not disclosed. Not sure the affirmative was not new. This is 1950. I told you about that now. The last thing I'll say is that you can still read new things on our interpretation. They just can't be conditional. If they're read as conditional, that means they're not good arguments. Instead, they're read to be strategic because they're not actually core on top of literature and meant to clash with the affirmative.